Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTB. We're back from Gen Con, and we're starting the channel back up again, back to all our favorite things. And unfortunately, there's nothing going on in Magic really, which is a kind of a good thing I think for this time of year for me, because I can go to Gen Con and not worry about missing out on too much. However, I did manage to scrap together a few things that we can talk about. With that said, let's get into it for the day, and let's hope we can find something pretty sweet. So, we'll start the day off with Magic 30. That's right, we talked about this before. October 28th through the 30th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Uh, Magic 30 is going to happen, which is the 30th anniversary of Magic. They tweeted out today about checking back in the morning at 10 a.m. Pacific for information about Magic 30, including events, schedule, ticket prices, guests, and more. This is straight from the Play MTG Twitter account, and they retweeted this. So look forward tomorrow for me to report out on everything I can find about this. Because if you guys don't know already, I definitely want to go to this. I know I just got back from Gen Con, but hey, a couple days in Vegas. It's just a short car ride away since I live in Nevada. And by Joe, I am not going to miss Magic's 30th anniversary. I went to the 25th anniversary in Vegas last time during the release of Modern Masters, and my God, was it a blast! And I definitely am not going to miss this, especially when there's supposed to be some special product and things that I definitely want to get a hold of. At least that's the rumor. So we have that. Now, other things to talk about, a little more on the boring side, honestly. Gladiator. So they've talked about a new community spotlight for something called the Gladiator event. So MTG Arena is making this new event that's fan made format and kind of putting it into Arena as a thing. It's called Gladiator. It's a full experience, variety of cards, choices, back and forth matches, yada yada yada. So it says it was established in 2020, and fans have been playing and growing the format years of frequent discussion, regular tournaments. I don't know about you guys, I've never heard of this before, and I played plenty. But anyway, so on August 11th this week, 8 a.m. to August 15th, the format Gladiator will be an event on Magic the Gathering Arena. Instruction will be play until the event ends. No cost to enter. The rewards is one win is one individual rare card. Two wins is also an individual rare card. Yada yada. Now to go along with this, what is Gladiator? So this little brief description here, it says decks contain no fewer than 100 cards. They don't have sideboards, with a maximum of one copy of each card, other than basic lands, obviously. Very similar to a singleton format. Similar in my butt, it is a singleton format. Or cards with no deck limit, like Petitioners. So with that being said, right out the box, in my personal opinion, this sounds like competitive Commander. I know everybody's going to say it's not, but I think you're wrong because okay, you don't get a Commander, but everything else seems to be the same. So the matches are best 2 out of 3, but without sideboarding between games. I think that's a bit much, but I mean, whatever. All the cards will be available on Arena that will be legal in their original version, except the following: Field of the Dead, thank God. Natural Order, oh my God, is that in Arena? Nexus of Fate, thank you. Oko, Thief of Crowns, because, yeah, let's just keep him out of games forever. Teferi Time Raveler, because that's a bit too much as well. Now, an oversized deck with singleton limits means a more robust game plan that can adapt to many different circumstances with multiple game matches, meaning you'll see a lot more of both your deck and your opponent's deck. So to hear more about Gladiator directly, yada yada, tune into Weekly Magic on Thursday, August 11th. Um, so for me, I believe this is just competitive EDH or competitive Commander without the Commander and everything else. And who knows, maybe that'll be fine. But also, um, I don't think in cardboard this will be a thing. But in Arena, when you want, like I mentioned, they have a lack of card support. This may be what they need to try to keep it alive and keep Commander players playing. Is to have some form of similar Commander that will give them that power level and something to do with older versions of cards moving forward. Because as of right now, the options of what you can do with old cards and how to get new cards is just a money sink and pathetic. Again, Don't spend money on this game. Plenty of videos on that. But anyway, so as we look a little more into it, we have a spotlight deck folder. So to show off what's possible here, they're gonna give everybody who are new to the format some jumping off points. The Gladiator community has provided some deck lists for the arena players to try out. You can look up the decks while the events are active. You have Azorius Control, which is called Supreme Phantom, Bolzek Combo, which is called Joker Boney. That makes no sense. Okay, Boros Control, which Amethyst. Anyway, Esper Reanimator, Gruul Monsters. I'm tired of reading these guys' names who supported the list. Sorry, guys. Uh, Gruul Monsters, there's a Jund Sacrifice Mono Blue Skies, Mono Red Aggro, Mono White Aggro, and Rakdos Mid Range. So, you get to choose a deck for the event, and even just while the decks tab of the client, scroll to the bottom of the deck collection to find a Community Spotlight Gladiator deck folder. You can submit the deck directly to the folder, yada yada yada. So the best part of this probably is the fact they are going to give us some decks to start with. Uh, I'll at least give it a try since it's free, just to see what happens to get some free stuff and do my dailies and whatnot. But with that said, I honestly don't know how I'm going to feel about this. I like Commander to a point, um, but again, there's lots of rules and house rules, and it's really hard to know what you can do in Commander, depending on the different areas or what have you. So it'd be nice to have a kind of format like this you could, boondoggle around in. That's the word of the day, boondoggle. Learned it from a friend. Anyway, it's an army term. Anyhow, point being, I think it's be kind of neat. We'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. 100 card singleton deck seems kind of weird without a commander, but hey, we've seen Stranger Things, right? And I don't mean the series or the movies. I'm talking about actual things in life. So, uh, moving on next, the community spotlight is going to be from August 11th to the 14th. Like it says, you can try out the fan made stuff we just talked about. No entry cost, and you can see why it's such a popular way to play Magic. Again, I'll give it a try because I'm up for about anything. It doesn't involve money. But anyway, uh, I've never heard of this, and I haven't heard it been dropping anywhere. So for a format that's so popular, it's kind of weird that I haven't heard of it. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Tell me in the comments down below if you've heard of Gladiator. Maybe you're the select few who would make this event popular, I guess. So other than this, outside the event schedule for Arena, for August 5th through the 8th, there's a historic metagame challenge. 11th through 15th is the Spotlight for Gladiator. And for August 12th to September 1st, there's the Arena Cube. That's a really long stretch. Anyway, that's other things to be coming to Arena for you, so feel free to check that out if you're really into it. As far as Premier Play goes on Arena, all these times are Pacific time, right? The qualified playing events for August 13th and 14th and 19th and 20th are all the format of Alchemy, which is like, Pioneer, except it's called Alchemy because it's not Pioneer and it sucks. But anyway, that's my gist. I won't be playing in this, and that's fine. That gives me 2 weekends to recover from Gen Con. Plus, probably go hit the casino or something, or maybe the beach. Uh, yeah, because I'm not gonna pay to play Alchemy. No, no, thank you. But if you guys are into it, have at it. Also, too, weekend qualifier August 20th and 21st is also Alchemy. So looks like the whole month of August I'm gonna be free. Kudos. Sounds like a plan. So anyway, moving on. So something else that happened today, as some people wrote a couple articles, Tribal as a um, mechanic for Magic is going to be put out to sale or will be in the sunset, we'll say, as they start not using it anymore. So it says here, ultimately why players look upon tribal spells favorably, their absence is not the most significant problem. Having only prominently featured in 2 sets, Lorwyn, Rise of Eldrazi, a limited number of tribal spells are available. This keeps certain tribes from running amok and disturbing the balance of eternal formats, such as Commander. Instead of relying on limited selection of tribal spells, tribal decks instead typically rely on powerful creatures and lords. So it talks here, unsurprisingly, this reliance on creatures rather than spells won't change in the future. This is from Rosewater. We do creature types themes in almost every set, but there are a lot of creature types. This ultimately means that of all the Magic tribes should get expanded with their own vital cards and lords, It just may take some time for them to arrive. It's even possible that squirrels and spiders should be getting something before too long. So that's probably a hint at something after Brothers War, or maybe even in Brothers War. Hell, who knows? So, they talked here that in a past Drive to Work podcast, Rosewater explained that tribal spells are a all or nothing affair. Unfortunately, for those who want more tribal spells, MTG is set up in a way that makes this approach untenable. Thankfully, and somewhat surprisingly, Rosewater isn't completely ruling out the creation of new tribal cards, similar to Altar of Goyf from Modern Horizons 2, but Rosewater did note maybe it's very infrequently shows up in a single Modern Horizons card. While this doesn't give tribal fans much to look forward to, it is technically better than nothing. But with that said, they are going away apparently. So, you know, it says here, it mentions he has decided to basically retire the tribal format. This revelation came in a recent blogatog. We answered a fan's request for more tribal focused cards like Lorwyn. Um, they're not going to do away with creature types altogether. Instead, the sets will no longer have tribal sorceries, instants, enchantments, or artifacts. So we'll have tribal, just not tribal things like, Goblin Tarfire, I think is what it's called, which is a tribal goblin sorcery, um, so forth and so on for things like Goyf, as we mentioned before. So in answering further questions, he confirmed the reason for the decision: add too much expectations without enough mechanical payoff. Uh, Basically, if we labeled one goblin theme spell a goblin, players want us to theme every goblin theme spell a goblin. This would ultimately lead to dissatisfaction within the player base, and mechanically complexity would see a massive leap, and suddenly every themed spell was tribal. I think he has a good point here, and I don't think we need any more tribal stuff. It was cool when it first came out, but if we print more of it or make more sets like Lorwyn, I think it will be a bad thing as a whole for older formats. But I think there's other ways we could do some tribal stuff without actually being tribal per se. So I'm not too upset about this leaving. And matter of fact, it hasn't had a whole lot of really devastation on the format or even a whole lot of play. So there is that. So with that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget, stay tuned for tomorrow. Like it will cover first thing in the morning all the sweet stuff that comes out about Magic 30. Um, so with that said, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Comments down below is gonna feed that YouTube algorithm so I can get some more followers and people can see my stuff, and I appreciate it. There's a notification bell. If you don't have anything you can to support, I do appreciate it. And I want to thank you for subscribing. Also, there's links in the description where you can actually see the eBay store. You can buy Magic cards and other products to help support the channel. There's a Patreon you can go get yourself hooked up with for monthly fee for cool swag, discounts on products and Magic the Gathering, and maybe other things. Also, there's an email in there if you just want to reach out and say, hey, I'd appreciate that as well. If you have something you want me to talk about, that also helps. And as always, until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table.